Hey everybody, Garrett Pedler with the Pedler team in Remax, Blue Water, and Grand Bend. Another community profile series, and with me is Ross Atkinson with the Lambton Shores Nature Trails. Ross, thank you so much for being with me today. And
Awesome.
I can't wait to tell the people all about your organization, your group, and start us off is give us a history of Lambton Shores Nature Trails and really the reason and the evolution of it becoming the group it is today.
Well, thanks for the invitation, Garrett. This is great to get the word out so people know a little bit more about our organization and what we're bringing to the table and for the community. We were founded in 2011 by a group of concerned citizens who were nature lovers. And there was a lot of very environmentally sensitive areas that were being overrun by off-road motorized vehicles, so ATVs, dirt bikes, which was very concerning. So what they did was they wanted to go to the landowners and say, how can we form some real trail networks and block off access so that the ATVs and dirt bikes couldn't come into those properties and keep destroying the flora and the fauna. And that's really where the whole thing was founded and the purpose behind it. Since then, we've grown to maintain a lot of different trails on a lot of different properties and done a lot of different things besides just simply blocking off ATV and motorbike traffic.
Wow, well, that's an interesting start to the mission, and especially where it is today and what I know of it. I wouldn't even have thought that to be the start of it. So that's really interesting to hear. And obviously, those ATVs and those, they are quite destructive on the trails and of nature. And, whereas a human just walking footprints, it's a pretty significant little trail, and it's usually the same trails the animals took before them.
Well, yeah, and we are in a very unique environment, and we're blessed to have that in our community. We are in a forested dunes environment, and a lot of people don't understand what a forested dune is. It's really a sand dune with about 6 to 8 inches of soil on top and then trees to make a forest. And so you can imagine that once you penetrate that 6 to 8 inches of soil, you're into sand, and we know sand erodes really fast. And so that's what makes us different than, let's say, up in northern Ontario where it's rocks and dirt and clay and mud and everything else.
Well, and you hit into the next question I wanted to ask is what makes this area so special for the hiking trails, and you hit on more of the soil side of things, but what else makes this area so special?
Yeah, this is also a Carolinian forest. So, for those that aren't familiar with the Carolinian forest, it's a very unique biosphere from basically Toronto to Grand Bend and then south. And so this was once back in the 1800s, 1700s, this was all covered in trees. It was all Carolinian forest. And so there's still sections of it. And, when you think about the Pinery and the Port Franks, the Ipperwash area, we still have a lot of that coverage here. And that's what really makes it unique. You don't find that too many places. And we've also done some things in those areas, like putting in a chip dust path so it's accessible for wheelchairs or accessibility devices. And the opportunity to give those people an opportunity to get into a Carolinian forest and take a small little tour through the bush is fantastic.
That's a really cool initiative. I love to hear that. How many trails is Lambton Shores Nature Trails managing currently? And obviously this number is always evolving.
Yes, it is. Yeah, so we have 7 trails today that we maintain. And one of those is new, and that's at the Lambton Center on Lakeshore Road. So that's a new partnership we formed last year. It's not officially open to the public yet, but will be by the end of this year. And they range in size. Some of them are as small as 1.5 kilometers, all the way up to 7-8 kilometers in length. Everything we maintain is in Lambton Shores, except one trail network, which is in North Middlesex, and it's called the Asabo River Valley and Mystery Falls Trails.
Very cool. And the one that you're doing at Lambton Shores Museum Heritage Center?
No, it's Lambton Center. It used to be called the United Church Camp for the people who have been around here for quite a few years,
I know
right?
What you're
So, they rely on a lot of volunteer work, and our expertise of being trail maintenance people was a great partnership, and they were more than willing to allow us to come in and help them. They had some trails, they just needed to formalize them, whether that was painting blazes on the path or putting up map signs so people know where to go. So those are kind of things that we're helping them with.
How long is that trail estimated to be?
I think only about 2.5 kilometers in total. But still, I mean, that could be the sweet spot for a lot of different people. We're not the Bruce Trail where you can hike 100 kilometers in a day, right? We don't have that. But with some of the loops that are built into some of the trails, you could easily get up towards 14, 16, potentially 18 kilometers if you really wanted to.
And I think that's what makes this network of trails so unique is that most of them all have good, well-signed parking spaces, and they're a loop. So you're not worried about where am I ending, where am I finishing, where are we leaving cars.
Right.
And it's all manageable, a half hour to 2-3 hours when you're talking about 7 kilometers. And so it's a great set of trails that you don't need to be some veteran hiker to attempt these. You can be a very rookie hiker and most of them being dog friendly and take your pup out and it's not your whole day adventure that you can go out early in the morning on Sunday and still have lots of your day left to do whatever else you want to do.
Exactly. And one of the things I like, and I'm not a 12-kilometer person. I cramp up after about 8, but I like going and taking on a 2-kilometer trail, hop back in the car, go to another property, do another 2-kilometer trails, hop in the car and do another 2. And now all of a sudden I've got 6 kilometers of trails and I've got a variety of 3 different properties. And every property we maintain has unique aspects to it that are unlike any others. Not in the province, but any others in the area. Mm-hmm. So, and as you said, they're close by. So that driving to the next trail, it might be a 5 to 10 minute drive, if that.
Well, and even in that 5-10 minutes, there's a host of many restaurants and coffee shops you can hit up, so that you're nice and full and relaxed for the next couple of kilometers you're tackling.
Agreed. And the other thing that just came to mind that I'd like to tell people about is that we are a very unique organization, in the sense that we, for the most part, mainly maintain trails. We don't really host hikes. We do the odd one, but our mandate is simply working on the trails for the betterment of the community. There's a lot of organizations across Ontario who are hiking organizations who might do a little maintenance on the side. We're strictly maintenance, and our volunteer pool we have about 70 people on our mailing list, and every year we average around 35 to 40 unique people who come out and help us. They ask for nothing in return, and they're the lifeblood of our organization. Without their assistance, there's no way we could get the jobs done that we want to get done.
Well, and that runs me right into the next question is, if someone's watching this and wants to volunteer or get involved, what's the best way? What do they do?
Yeah, so on our website, there's an option to subscribe. Really what you're doing is subscribing to our monthly newsletter. But as part of that subscription process, it has a couple check boxes. Would you like to volunteer on the trails? Would you like to volunteer for events that we host, for fundraising and things like that? So that's the easiest way. Then once that you're on the mailing list, 1 week before we have a work event, we send out an email blast to all those who said they were interested. There's no commitment, and I think that's what has made us very successful when it comes to volunteers. We don't mandate that people show up. We simply send the email out, and the only thing we ask is let us know that you can come. Because from a management standpoint, that's my key role, is trying to manage projects, it's a lot different if you have 5 people or you have 15 people. So we have to plan accordingly. And so knowing in advance that we've got 10 people showing up, great. Okay, we can decide exactly what work we can accomplish that day. So we tell them where we're going, what we're doing, what time we're starting, and how long it's going to take.
Awesome. And, lots of hands make light work, so
it does.
That makes a big difference.
Yes, it does. And, I think one of the largest events we had was actually planting dune grass at the Asable River Cut Conservation Area. And I think we had like 22 people maybe, or 21 people out that time. And that blew me away. That basically out of the 45, that's almost 50%.
That's pretty incredible volunteer participation.
Yeah, well, and that's that. I think that maybe also hit something with the community in the sense that it was something environmental. Mm-hmm. So that's another thing that we're involved with too. Is we do a lot of environmental things. whether that's dune grass planting. We're also clean 5.5 kilometers of bog line. So we're part of the Lambton County Adopt a Road program. We've planted trees. Whenever we're building projects, if we can use recycled lumber, we use recycled lumber instead of buying new. So we've done our share of things from an environmental standpoint. And actually in 2025, we were awarded the Sauble Bayfield Conservation Authority Conservationist of the Year Award.
Wow.
Which is a very prestigious award, and it goes to show you that that I think our ship is steering in the right direction. That it's more than just simply going out and maintaining the trails. It's also giving back to society, being environmentally conscious.
That's incredible. Congratulations
Thank you.
on that award. I'm pretty sure I saw that post. Leads right into, how is the group funded? This is a not-for-profit organization, essentially. How are you guys funding these projects?
Yeah, great question. So one of the first things we do is we sell memberships. You can buy an individual for $15, a family for $25, or we have a lifetime individual membership for $200. So that helps every year. I think we sell somewhere around 75 to 100 memberships every year. So that helps to raise some money. That helps to pay for our insurance, helps to pay for materials, whether that's screws or some lumber that's required. We've also applied for grants. So the local grant is a vibrancy grant through the municipality. If the project is in the town of Forest, there is a Forest Community Foundation as well. We've also tapped into a similar Grand Bend Community Foundation that is up there for our docks that we put in here in Port Franks. And we've also had to give donations, whether that's financial or in kind. So there's lots of people, once they hear about the fact that, oh, I'm tearing out my deck. Okay, well, if you're not doing anything with the lumber, donate it to us. Funny thing is, as soon as you turn over those ugly boards to the bottom, they look like they're coming brand new off the shelf. So they're perfect for creating boardwalks and footbridges and things like that. And then like I said, we also have cash donations. And in some cases, have had people in their obituaries say, if you're going to make a donation, make it to Lambton Shores Nature Trails. And so that's where our funding, comes from.
Very cool. And best way to find all these trails? Where can people find you to figure out where all these trails are?
Well, you could use Google Maps. I mean, they're all been recorded on there. You just have to look up trails and they pop up. But certainly you can come to our website, and on our website we talk about hiking and canoeing and kayaking and other types of things you can do in the community. And on there, there's another link that simply says, check out the trails that are in the community. And we don't just highlight the ones that we work on. We have on there other trails like Rock Glen, the Pinery, the trail that's in behind the Lambton Heritage Museum. So there are other properties that have trails, and we'd like to highlight those. It's not about just the stuff we work on. It's for what's in the community, with the expectation that people coming and visiting, whether it's Grand Bend or Ipperwash, can look us up. Simply, if you put in Lambton Shores and Trails, you're going to find our website real quick. And then once you're there, well, then you're off to the races.
That's awesome. I didn't realize the website had all the trails in Lambton Shores. That's a really good resource for me to, because usually when I was sending your link to somebody, I thought, oh, this is just going to show them the couple and I'll explain there's some more out there.
Yep.
But that's really good to know on that side of things too.
Yeah, and also on the website, there's a lot of information that's there. One of the things that we also record on there historically is all the major work events that we've had or things that we've done over the last, probably about 10 years now. We've had that website up and running. And so it's a good way for people to see, what has Lambton Shores Nature Trails done in the community. So yeah, that's a nice way to find out, more information beyond just the trails itself.
And I know you said it before when we were chatting before hitting the record button, but how long has Lambton Shores Nature Trails been around for?
Since 2011. So that was
incredible.
Yeah, that was the year that we were founded. I mean, we're really a young organization compared to some of the other groups and that are around the communities, or other hiking organizations who have been around for 50 years and things like that.
Sure.
But I think the impact we've had has been tremendous.
Well, and I think it shows by getting prestigious awards like you have already. So
Yes.
that's incredible. New projects planned for 2026. What can folks look forward to, and what are your guys' sights on to do in 2026?
Yeah, there's a couple projects that come to mind for 2026. One that we had planned for last year but just didn't have time, and that was we're going to install at the Forest rail trail. It's called the Grand Trunk Trail, 12-foot sample rail section. So we a couple of years ago retrieved a lot of railroad steel out of the creek below the train bridge. And a lot of people don't even realize we have a train bridge in Forest, but we do have a train bridge in Forest. It was recently refurbished by the municipality, and it's a pedestrian bridge now. But one of the things we want to do from an environmental standpoint was get underneath that bridge, because you could see the steel sitting down there. I'm not talking about just rails. There was a couple of rails that were there, but there's a lot of couplers, a lot of plates that were all down there. We pulled out like 180 pieces of heavy gauge steel. And so, you know, it was one thing to retrieve it down below, but for the three people that were up top with the rope pulling up 30, 35 feet, that was quite a workout. But so we had all those pieces. We also brought the rails up. And so all of a sudden we thought, wouldn't it be nice to build a section of rails so that, you know, that bygone time of when we used to actually have a rail line come through Forest is oblivious to a lot of people. They don't even realize it. And so we thought, hey, we could put this in perfect alignment with where it came through the town at one time. And so we have all the pieces, and so that'll be a project that we're going to start this spring, is to build that. And it's going to cost us no dollars. Besides us having all the steel pieces, we've gotten a couple donations. One from a company called OWS in Petrolia. They're a railroad repair build business. So they were able to supply us with some of our missing materials. And also the lumber mill over in Thedford donated some railroad ties for us, which was fantastic. And so that's going to be an exciting project to see that come to fruition and have that right there. And have a beautiful information panel so that people can read about all the little intricacies of what makes up a rail line. You know, what are the bolts called? What are the plates called?
Neat.
What are the couplers called? And I think it'll be a real educational tool for young people to come and go, oh, I didn't know that was called a fish plate. Well, yeah, that's the plate that connects two pieces of steel together. It's called a fish plate. So that's one project. Another major project that's going to occur once in the spring and again in the fall is our, last year we did the first of a 2-year project in the Ipperwash Dunes and Swales Trail. And that was to refurbish all of the boardwalks. So for those people who have been to that trail, know that there's a number of boardwalks that go over the swales, the wet areas in there. What we were doing was replacing all the support logs and also going from 2 planks wide to 3 planks wide, which will make it a lot more comfortable for people to walk through there and not feel like they're tipsy on those things. So we have to do 2 crossings in the spring and the last 2 crossings in the fall. And that we will then have completed 8 crossings in the 2-year span.
Very cool.
Now that project was fully funded by Nature Conservancy of Canada. But we did all the volunteerism, and they also brought in some workers as well, which really helped. And looking forward to that coming to completion.
That's really cool. I mean, 2 things is, if I didn't go to school in Forest, I would have never known where that railway trail is.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to hear they redid that bridge, because it was looking pretty decrepit there when I remember it. So I got to go check that out.
Yep.
And B is, bringing up businesses, helping out where they can. Yep. And I guess, a bit of a call out to businesses that if, follow their page, follow their Facebook and Instagram page. Facebook and Instagram?
Yeah, and Twitter.
And Twitter.
Or X, I guess.
Follow them on their social media and really sign up for their newsletter. And that's, if you want to be a helpful business on that side of things, is you'll see the projects they're doing. And if there's a way you can help, then reach out to the team of Ross and so forth. And And that sounds like a great way. It's not always financial contributions, but also materials and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and we advertise, actually take advantage of Kijiji. I think everybody's heard of Kijiji, and we have a permanent ad out there asking for used deck boards.
Okay.
And last year we had someone up in Dublin who saw the ad and said, "I'm tearing apart my deck. It's disappearing. Are you interested?" And we went up there. And I think we ended up with like 200 pieces of deck boards, and so that was fantastic because we were building an extension at the Sauble River Cut conservation area, and so that was perfect for us to have that lumber and not have to go out and find the funding to buy new.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that deck boards were so valuable, so I'll have to keep my eye out
All
for
right,
you guys.
excellent. Well, that's very much appreciated.
Ross, I really appreciate your time. Is there anything else you'd like to get out to the people here today that we can include in this video?
Well, I'd simply like to say to thank you for everyone for their support and following us on Facebook. You're absolutely right. You would see what's happening, how we're giving back to the community. If there's an avid photographer out there, we would love to actually have someone that we could call upon that could come out for 1 hour or 2 hours at one of our work events, because it's hard for us to get out there and be part of the build process or manage process and also be taking photographs at the same time. And so if we can have somebody that just said, yeah, I'll come out for the first hour and just snap pictures so that we can put those up and show people, it would take one less burden off of our shoulders. And also, if there's somebody out there who's into social media, we don't really have a dedicated social media. It's spread up amongst 3 of our board members. If we had somebody out there who was interested in being the poster of the social media platforms, that would be fantastic too.
That's awesome. Well, you heard it here. Go follow get followed on their newsletter. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, X. Yeah. And there's a call out if you're a business that wants to help out, a local citizen that wants to help out either with hours or donations in kind, and a photographer or a social media person that would like to help out. There's a need over here at Lambton Shores Nature Trails, an incredible group. You need to go check out their hikes, check out their website, and a lot of valuable information that I haven't even seen yet, so I need to check it out better. And so thank you so much for your time and what you guys are doing in Lambton Shores. I know Lambton Shores is a better place to live because of a group like you.
Well, we truly appreciate it. Thank you for your time, Gary.
No, thank you.
All right.
Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for listening, and make sure to like, follow, share. We appreciate you listening and tuning in today.